And she's been seen on E! She's been seen on Botched. Give it up for the very funny, our headliner, last comic of the night. Give it up for Tuesday, Thomas.
It's really nice to do comedy in a murder room in Boyle Heights. Thanks for having me. How you all doing? Good? I'm glad you're doing good, because my life is shit. And I couldn't take your problems on, too. Seriously. Seriously. When I was 20, I looked like Wonder Woman. Now people just look at me and wonder if I'm a woman. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I never had any luck with guys either. My last boyfriend, it was daylight savings time, and I walked in on him. He had a Sharpie, and he was coloring in his you know what. I was like, dude, you're supposed to turn the clocks back. She gets it. See, that always ripples a little. That's okay. You might have to Google it, but I still love you anyway. That's all right. I dated this one guy, and we went home to do the dirty because it was the first date, and that's what sluts like me do. But I got out of bed to go excuse myself to go to the bathroom, and I came back. He's still in the bed, mind you. He's still in the bed, but he'd gone to my closet and put on my clothes. He's laying in my bed wearing a complete outfit of mine, laying there in my clothes, pitching a tent. I was like, oh, stand up. What are you thinking? Those shoes with that skirt and that top. Come here, let's fix that shit. That joke means I'm desperate, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's been so long since I've had any action, I can't even spell sex. Seriously, I know it begins with a cocktail and ends with me crying alone in the bathroom. Oh, you don't like that one? It's been so long since I've had sex. Yesterday, I queefed a mothball. And a moth. Then there was these two tiny little white women in grass skirts, and they ran off after the moth. I don't care if you don't get that joke, but next summer during Godzilla Part 2, you're all going to be laughing your asses off and thanking me for it. Nothing goes right for me. Nothing goes right at all. I walked into a sex shop the other day. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. I walked in there, I looked the clerk right in the eye, and I said, I'll have that red dildo on the wall over there. She said, I'd be happy to wrap that up for you, ma'am, but you do realize that's a fire extinguisher. I said, yes, I'll take 2, please. Then I had to take this test. You got to take these weird tests at work sometimes, you know, to keep your job. I had to take this test. I failed it. It was a safety test. I failed the safety test at work. They asked me in case of fire, what steps would you take? And I said, really fucking big ones. And that wasn't the answer they were looking for. Then I go to my doctor's, and in the middle of my appointment, I couldn't believe it. In the middle of my appointment, my doctor tells me I have to stop masturbating. I said, why? He said, because I'm trying to examine you. That's why. Anybody here have tattoos? Yeah. This is my pet peeve, and it probably is yours too. Don't you hate it when somebody walks up to you, sees your tattoo, and says, oh, you have a tattoo, and proceeds to show you their chicken scratchings of Calvin and Hobbes or whatever the fuck they got done in jail or their brother-in-law's kitchen? Doesn't that annoy you? It's not like I walk up to you, miss, and say, look at your lip and say, oh, you have a cold sore, and then lift my skirt up. Good God, that wouldn't be very ladylike now, would it? It's all about being a lady, isn't it, Sally? Yeah. I had this guy walking down the street, too, and this woman out of nowhere, she called me a slut. This bitch called me a slut out of nowhere. I showed her, I followed her all the way home. I walked in her front door, and I blew her husband. Another guy came up to me, and he looks me right here. He says, are those transplants? I'm like, yeah, I got them off a dead hooker down by the docks. I don't have a punchline for that, but it's the stupidest fucking thing anybody's ever said to me in my life. Ever. Which reminds me of celebrities. They're always saying stupid shit, too, aren't they? Do you remember a couple years ago, Michael Douglas, the actor, what he said? Do you remember that? He said he got mouth cancer from cunnilingus. You remember that? Michael Douglas got mouth cancer from eating pussy. I was like, what next? Blowjobs causing Alzheimer's? I was like, what next? Blowjobs causing Alzheimer's? I was like, oh, enough of that joke. Enough of that joke. I'm hosting a charity event next week. You should all, yeah. It's a charity, thank you. It's a charity event for people with sexual dysfunction. So please RSVP me if you can't come. If you can't come. I'm going on vacation next week as well. Yeah, thank you. I need it. I go to the same spot every year. It's wonderful. I'm going to a schizophrenic convention. I am. Everybody will be there.